Okay, next question. Pulse Obsidian asks, what is your advice on distribution and how to approach it as a beginner seller that doesn't have an established store or even an online presence? What steps do you recommend to establish first? Also, congratulations. Thank you. If you don't have any sort of presence, you're not selling anything, you're not moving any sort of product actually, don't get with distribution if you haven't done anything about buying and selling trading cards. I'm assuming that's what this question is about, or just any sort of game store operations in general. Again, there is no money in sealed product for any of these TCGs, even more so now than ever. There's not. After, again, shipping fees, again, moving the stuff, you having to ship it out if you're doing online, it's not there. There's all the people out there against you, and if you don't have any sort of good following or people that trust you or want to use you as a buying source locally, just don't do it. You can start a game store and not have sealed product and start growing your business organically. Buy collections, buy bulk, buy and sell things locally from people. Open up an eBay account, open up a TCG Player account, and start that way. You will know when it's the right time to open up a distribution account. And by that time, you'll be an established business, you'll be having money going in and out, and you'll be able to get with distribution pretty easily. I think they are starting to open up and take applications now. I think they're taking them, but they're doing it in batches so that they don't get overrun. But all the stores that have been with distribution and maybe in the past couple years opened up their business and was with distribution are now closing and defaulting on all their stuff and not taking this product and then not doing so well. So there will be plenty of spots for you to try to do the same thing in a worse market. Next question. No, seriously, just start little and buy and sell trade, local, and sell it online and on eBay, do the work, and then, like I said, you'll know when the right time. Question from Rory. Another long with a lot of praise. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. He's talking about, could you do a video as you being honest and open and candid, and then the same kind of video where you play the role as an influencer who has an agenda behind their content? I did do a video where I did like a back and forth with me, basically, right after the Shining Fates debacle of pre-ordering. There was that I did that I was kind of like a cheeky thing that you're kind of talking about. But and that was fun. I mean, it's fun videos and doing little skits and stuff, little bits. I like doing that stuff and it's funny. But I don't know. My content is more just me being a harsh realist as it is, and kind of like not playing the joke. I think we can all sniff out, and there's examples of that type of content out there already. And then I'm kind of like the balance to that, which is fine. I'm okay with being in that role. So yeah, it's fun, and I might do a bit here and there on something, but most of the time I'm just pretty straightforward and telling you how it is. Next question. Scott Bland, talking about repacks. Do you find it to be an effective way to get rid of bulk, doing these $1 repacks? Doing things like a lottery ticket. Yeah, I talked about that in kind of the last video. Lots of stores do it. It's very good revenue. Or they have like the machines that they're kind of like the old tattoo or sticker machines, but they just spit out like a couple of common cards for like a quarter or 50 cents or whatever. There's tons of way to get and move through bulk and stuff that is still a viable way if you have a physical location. Even like people, I know people who like go to like a flea market and stuff and sell that kind of stuff, and they have pretty good success with that. So yeah, even you are able to do that as a somebody that just wants to do it locally at, like I said, a flea market or something like that. Totally a viable option for you to try to sell some bulk. Satamo? Yeah. Thoughts on foreign language cards? I know most stores avoid non-English Japanese cards, at least in Pokemon, but what are your thoughts? Player base having a negative overreaction, or it's justified? So, for a while, Japanese, I actually bought some Japanese stuff, especially like Eevee Heroes, and I stocked that stuff and had it in store for people, and people bought it. We sold out of it, but again, that was back in the heyday. Japanese is very cool because it does give you a little preview, but you have to be very exact with how much you buy, because people quickly go to the flip side where it's not new anymore and they just want to wait for the English stuff. So it's kind of a weird in-between space. We used to buy like ultra rares and stuff in Japanese, and some of them do still have great value. A lot of the sets from the past year still sell for a lot. But yeah, I mean, most of that stuff it's just the market's really fallen out on it, and it's not there like it used to be. Older stuff, sure. Old WotC vintage stuff. Of course, it wasn't WotC, it'd be just, Japan printed stuff in the old day. WotC era stuff, I guess, is still okay to say in that regards. But yeah, I mean, stuff like modern stuff that we just is going to be in English in 3 months, it's kind of not really a great little market to be in. Just because, again, it's just such a small window to sell it before it kind of just becomes like, oh, it's coming out in English very soon, so I'm just going to wait. Steve Jackson. Hey, Steve. At what point do you feel confident that something is not getting reprinted? Obviously, anything can happen, but for stuff like Evolving Skies or the UPC. Other than in situations where Pokemon has come out and said that they're not reprinting any more product, such as with Celebrations, it'd be very shitty of Pokemon to say, hey, guess what? We're not going to be printing Celebrations. If you want it, better get it now. And then releasing more of that on the Pokemon Center website, that'd be a very shitty thing to do. But and that's the only time Pokemon has ever said, hey, no more of this. For everything else, we have quickly learned that anything and everything's free game, and that there is no guarantee, and they can go and do whatever they want to because Pokemon going to make that money. So that's just the world that we're in now. Again, the standard legality rule of 2 years of set being in rotation is the typical response that we can expect a reprint, or for at least those packs to be widely available at normal price. But as things get older and move through, and we get farther along, unless, again, like MJ Holdings or somebody finds a big pallet of it in their warehouse somewhere and decides to put it in every product or in mystery boxes and products like that, it is not out of the realm of possibility that Pokemon just reprint whatever they want, whenever. That's just the honest truth on that stuff. So that's what we're looking at with that type of products. I'm not confident in anything anymore, other than in Celebrations, because they've openly said, hey, this isn't being made anymore. So, yeah. Everything's on the table. If they reprinted Battle Styles, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just, at this point, they do what they want because they know they can sell it. Next question. Cy Johnston, hello. What is your current experience with the labor market and rising wages? Good question. It's interesting, right? Because we've kind of went into this wave of the labor market being where people didn't need to work, or there's less employees out there, so that we had to raise our wages higher, to where I open up a new store and the listings, and I get a bunch of people wanting to work at this new store, and the wage is not important, but it's still the same. Like, we didn't lower it, but it's interesting, just the wave that we've gone through in the past 2 years of me having to basically lay people off because I couldn't afford them when we were closed, to now opening up another store and needing people, to where I couldn't find people, so I had to raise my wages. I found people, but we wanted to raise our wages, just, to be on par and be a little better, because as fun and awesome as it is to work in a game store for $8 an hour, it's still, it doesn't make sense for somebody to work here for that, and also the quality of labor and people that we keep at that rate. It's not fair. So we raised our wages to being for Kentucky, very, very high, but still, it's not like it's, you can still go work in a warehouse and make more, obviously, in a lot of places, but manual labor, and you're not surrounded by nerdy things, so it is a give and take. And there's people in these situations where not everybody needs a bunch of money. Some people are happy not making and not having to be in charge of things. They just want to come in, work their 8 hours and then go home, and some people are happy with that, so that's, everybody's lifestyle and the way they live, or their living situation, if they're still with their parents, or maybe they have to live with their parents because they need somebody to care for them, or whatever. Whatever the situation is, there's people out there, and, making decisions on wages and stuff like that, it's very difficult when you feel like you're being very competitive, and you get a lot of people coming in, and you're like, okay, hold on. What if we only paid less, and then we had the same amount of people? If the same people would applied that I paid at what we pay it now, would they have done it for 20% less? It's just that kind of stuff that makes it difficult. And we've gone back and forth on it, and we ultimately just said, we're just going to stay where we're at and be happy with that. So I'm going to pause there. I got a couple more. Oh, I got 2 more. So I guess I'm going to keep going. Never mind. What is this? Taisto Lane? I'm going to go with Taisto. Question I had about etiquette in a card shop. There was a deal going down where my card shop wasn't willing to offer what he wanted. They offered 20% value. 20%. Okay. But I was told, but I was, so I told him that I would be willing to buy it for X amount more than the shop, and he agreed. We wouldn't do the deal in the shop because we felt bad. If there was a better way to do this, we have to take away from the shop. Yeah, so that's a rough one. That is a very tough situation. It's interesting. That's an interesting way. I don't like people hanging around when I do purchases, and people can think that's shady or whatever. I just don't like somebody being influenced by somebody else making a decision when it's an A and B party, and C party is not involved, but they're feeling the need to interject. That's just, in general, not a good practice, and shouldn't be something that people should be feeling they need to be a part of. I would say that the way to go about that would be, if you, and I've had people do this in the store, and this is the way to do it. If you wanted to buy something from the store and then trade them for that, that'd be the best way. That is fair for everybody, and I'm sure the store wouldn't be upset with that. But yeah, trying to, if you just stood there and said, obviously, I'm going to pay more than that if you want to just sell it to me, yeah, that's shitty. But if they walked away and they said they were done, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to keep it for that, and they came and sat down at a table, and you're like, okay, hey, if you want to sell that to me. Now, some stores do not allow this either. it's whatever. If I had first dibs and I shot my shot and they said no, somebody else wanted to sell it and pay more, that's on them to do. But yeah, I would say it's always nice to at least give the store a shot, or again, to buy something from the store and then trade them for the amount. I mean, that's the best way to do it. But yeah, it's a tricky situation. Like I said, I'm not upset when people buy and sell in my store, but I do get upset if I would have paid just as much, or if more potentially. That happens too, and I didn't have an opportunity to do it when you're in my building. So yeah, it's tricky. So just be careful. And some stores do get upset about it. But that's my take on it. All right, last question. I'm running out of battery and memory space. So let's see. Toby Craft. Is young entrepreneurs capable of getting into this business, or should we wait as the market is difficult to navigate right now? If you want to if you're talking about a game store, don't. I will continually tell people, if it's a boom or a bust, I'm telling people, don't. You can do so much with and have so much more freedom and capability and liquidity in your money just buying collections off people and flipping them, or grading it, or whatever you want to do. Brick and mortar is really not essential, and it looks glamorous and is a lot of fun, but if you are just by yourself and you want to do this and grow to it, start off with buying and selling collections and doing it that way. There's absolutely no reason that you need a brick and mortar. It's nice to have a place for people to come in. So if you wanted to get big enough where you can run an online business like TCG player business or eBay business out of like an office space, that's perfect. And have people come in and sell their stuff that way. Super awesome. Super good way to do it. I talk about flea markets and things, vendor booths. Yeah, do it that way too. That's also a thing. Very low maintenance. Yeah, you kind of have a fee that you kind of have to cover, but if you're doing it on eBay and want to sell things locally too and try to avoid the fees from that kind of stuff, that's a viable option too. So it's really, there are tons of ways to make money in this, and having a brick and mortar is not essential. And I will always tell people that, build up to this point. Don't just hop into a store thinking that that's what you need to do, because it's not. That is the last question, guys. Appreciate everybody that sent questions. I'm going to chop these up probably into bits, depending on how long this is. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, all of you, for the 20K supporters. And yes, hopefully I get 20 more. And hopefully we can just keep this train rolling. But I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, supporting the store. I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.